Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Instacar HK. Today we are reviewing this 1993 Lister Storm. Now some of you may have never heard of the brand Lister before because it's a very small British company that specializes in modifying Jaguar cars. It was founded in the 1950s and since then it has been modifying Jaguar cars like your AMG of the day. Today, Lister still exists and the latest model would be the Lister Thunder, for example, which is the modified version of the Jaguar F-Type. This, however, is a pretty special car because it's the first and only car Lister ever produced themselves from start to end. It wasn't based on any existing Jaguar models. And the reason for that is because in the 90s, Lister wanted to go racing, in particular, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. As many of you would know, your race car that you enter in must have a road equivalent version. Part of that is to keep costs down and to keep the technology under control so that manufacturers must use at least parts of the car on its road-going version. This is of course known as the homologation specials. Now a lot of cars we see day to day are actually homologation models. My Volvo 850, for example, is the homologated model for the BTCC British Touring Car Championship that Volvo was of course very active in the 90s. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution is the homologation model for Mitsubishi's entry in the World Rally Championship. Now, some homologation models are of course more special than others, for example, the Porsche 959. But when it comes to unique and special and most importantly rare homologation models, not many cars come close to this one. Because in the 90s, when Lister wanted to enter Le Mans and was required to do a road-going version of their Lister Storm GTS race car, Lister only made 4. They only made 4 road-going models, being this one here, the Lister Storm, only which 3 remains today. One was crashed or something. Very little is known about the Lister Storm road-going cars because there are only 3. The other 2, not much information or pictures are known about it. But today, we have one of those 3 surviving Storms here in Hong Kong with us for me to review. All right. Time for a drive. First off, this very special car actually belongs to the same owner as the XJ220 and the Diablo, Lamborghini Diablo that we previously reviewed. Needless to say, this guy owns some pretty impressive and unique cars. And as you may recall, he is also the owner of NOVE watches, which is the sponsor of our channel. And today, for NOVE, for this special car, I'm wearing a just as special NOVE watch, which is the Trident, the NOVE Trident watch. It's the world's slimmest diving watch ever made. Look how slim this is. The world's thinnest diving watch, the NOVE Trident. If you're interested, go to their website, nove.com, to check it out, and you can use my code INSTACAR20 to get a 20% discount on any NOVE watches. Anyway, that's out of the way. Let's start the car. So when you first sit in, it's actually, the car is very hardcore. It is very hardcore. Hardcore history, hardcore engine, everything's hardcore. But when you sit in here, it's quite civilized. It's really quite civilized. Leather seats, leather central tunnel, and you feel okay, comfortable. The only thing is you feel like you're really low. When you sit down, you're really low. Look at the headspace I have. This is hardly a tall car, but I have so much headspace because I'm sitting so bloody low. Then the instrument cluster is very 90s, plastic looking. But yeah, it's simple, of course. 2x2, 2+2, so it's a 4-seater car. The rear actually looks reasonably spacious. I think Junior would fit in here quite easily. Anyway, okay, so very low is how I feel, but nothing feels wrong otherwise. Ergonomics and everything feels quite normal. Okay, to start, you have to press this alarm button right away, otherwise it wouldn't start. Now let's fire it up. You have to give some gas when you start. Ooh, listen to that. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a 7-liter V12 Jaguar engine, straight out from the Le Mans winning top of the class Jaguar XJ R9. So Lister just shoehorned this huge engine, the biggest engine in a road-going car at the time, a 7-liter V12 Jaguar Le Mans winning engine into it, which is pretty crazy. 550 horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.1 seconds, top speed 208 miles per hour. For the longest time, this car was the fastest 2+2 car in the world. For the longest time, we're talking about like years and years. Anyway, time to go. Now, if you recall in my XJ220 video last time, I did stall twice. The XJ220 wasn't the easiest car to drive. It was the first and only car I ever stalled on this channel. So hopefully, the owner did tell me this car is more civilized, believe it or not. So hopefully he's right and I won't embarrass myself this time. All right, handbrake. Very normal handbrake. Okay, clutch. Okay, firm clutch, but nothing scary. It's not restrictively heavy or anything. Let's go. We're on a slope. Oh wow, it is civilized. It is very civilized. Done, I'm out. First time out on a slope. Oh, sounds nice. Let's go. Brakes feel normal at this speed. Ooh, listen to that clink from the transmission. Very short gear shifting. Not surprised. It is practically a race car. As I mentioned, Lister only made 4 of these road-going Lister Storms, and apparently, when they made it, they just transformed their race cars into a street car. Like they didn't separately build the road-going cars. They just used some of their existing street cars, put some leather, put some seats, make it normal, and then turn it into a road car. So this is as homologation of a model as you can get. Literally was born as a race car, literally. But so far so good. It feels civilized, easier, and less intimidating than the XJ220 for sure, right off the bat. Now we're on 3rd gear. Whoa! They've got plenty of power, no joke. It just goes. Wow, okay, brake. Just gonna close the window. Okay, now we have a very preliminary taste of that. And wow, I guess unsurprisingly, it's very fast, it's very powerful. I mean, the car is very light. If you look from the outside, it got that Ferrari F40, F50 like carbon weaves that you can see on the bodywork. So it's a very light car, 550 horsepower. Just now, I'm only at 3rd gear already. Stepping it at full throttle, the power is just immense. Literally keeps going. Very torquey engine, as you expect. And extremely linear and available. Like there's no lag of any sort. You step on it, and it goes. So Lister was really into racing throughout the 90s and early 2000s with their Lister Storm GTS and GTL models. As I mentioned, right off the bat, they had their sights on the 24-hour of Le Mans race. Unfortunately, at the beginning, they didn't do that well. As you can imagine, small manufacturer, new car built by themselves. So they didn't do well. They lots of DNFs at the 24 hours of Le Mans. Then they went and tried the 24 hours of Daytona. Same, lots of DNFs, some crashes and whatnot. And plus, in the early beginning, to be honest, even if they didn't have the reliability issues, they probably wouldn't have done too well in the 24 hours of Le Mans anyway, because that was right in the middle of the era of the McLaren F1, the Ferrari F40, the Jaguar XJ220. So, you know, it did struggle at the start. But Towards the late 90s is when the Lister Storm started to have some results, particularly in the British GT Racing Series. In 1998, they started having some wins and some podium finishes, and in 1999, they finally took the big trophy home, being the overall outright winner of the 1999 British GT Championship Series. In year 2000, they did come close again, but didn't quite win the championship. But in 2001, they won the British GT Championship again as the champion, overall champion. And more impressively, in year 2000, they also won the then new FIA GT Championship, overall winner champion of the FIA GT Championship in year 2000. So despite the early struggles, towards the end, they actually did achieve some really respectable results, the legacy of which still lives on with this brand today. I mean, it may not be as well known as your McLaren or whatever, but what the Lister company and the Lister Storm has achieved is truly remarkable and will be long remembered. A kind of, if you know car. Now, I first met this car a few years ago when the owner imported it to Hong Kong and the car started appearing in some car meets and car drives. Admittedly, I had no idea what it was when I first saw it. And I think, like many of you guys, I was really struck by the shape of the car. I mean, we have reviewed some really aerodynamically focused, very streamlined car before, but this is something else. Look at how low the front end is starting, really streamlined. And aside from that, the rear, starting from the middle to rear onwards, is also kind of, dare I say, a bit awkward looking. It's not your most conventional hypercar shape. It got a bit of really boxy, weird shape going on at the back, but you can see it's very aerodynamic. I mean, look at the shape, design of the doors and the rear wing. And it's also quite a small car. The presence is not that intimidating. It's quite a small car. But the most surprising of all is this car is actually a 2+2, which I just never understood, because as a hypercar made for racing, I mean, the existence of this car was nothing but for racing, but it's a 2+2. So it's a small-sized 2+2 hypercar. Oh, and despite the shape looking really hypercar looking, the engine is actually in front. You would expect it to be a mid-engine layout, but nope, the 7.0 liter V12 Jaguar engine is actually in front. This is a really impressive piece of kit, because the engine came from none other than Jaguar's very own 24 Hours Le Mans winning XJR9. Lister being a small company, they building their own car. Of course, they can't build everything from scratch. You know, they say with cars, something like designing and building your own headlight could cost millions of pounds these days. So they did borrow some parts from other manufacturers. The door and the upper section of this car is from the Volkswagen Corrado, for example. The rear lights, I'm still not sure, but it looks very familiar. It looks a bit Lotus Elan-like with the rear light. So I'm sure that those are not the only parts that they borrow from other manufacturers. But the impressive thing is, despite all this, when put together, the car somehow looks right. Despite being a bit quirky with the front engine, 2+2, small size, it actually works out quite well. And as a whole package, it's a really good looking car, I think. Wow. Oh man. This car, okay, this car really surprised me. I really did not expect to be having so much fun driving a one of four street version of the Lister Storm. I mean, I gotta do this again. Just the instantaneous power delivery. Oh! To apologize to my cameraman Dave there, gave him a push with that. That's the 550 horsepower under the bonnet, mate. Wow. All right, okay. Time to calm down and really summarize a bit, brainstorm a bit about this car. Really, not being nice, but really surprising. The car is surprisingly impressive, because when I was told, when I was offered to try out the Lister Storm, I really was expecting it to be a very flimsy, small manufacturer-made British supercar, whatever that means, right? Small manufactured British hypercar. I expected it to be flimsy, I expected it to be uncomfortable, I expected it to be hot, I expected it to be really uncomfortable to drive, but it was anything but that. Like, the car is very usable, comfortable enough, very reasonably comfortable, and you can just exploit the power so easily. It's so friendly. The power delivery and the engine is really fast. I said that 100 times in this video. It's really fast, there's a lot of power, but I'm surprised at how usable that immense power is. I was going pedal to the metal for most of those shots you saw, and I was not expecting that. I thought the car would be squiggly. I thought I had to be really gentle, really on my toes driving this car. No, really just step on it. It's fun. Wow, like, I'm really impressed. And the fact that the only shame is there are only 4 of these in the world. I think only 3 that survived. 1 crashed or something. So not many people get to enjoy it, really. Only a few lucky chaps. And fortunately, today, I can proudly say I'm one of those lucky fellas that got to experience the Lister Storm, because it's just amazing. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, please subscribe, please remember to click the bell button next to the subscribe button so you know when our next video is. Thank you and have a good day. What do you say? Should we give it another run? I think so. Let's go. Woohoo! Let's go, baby!